Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to dive into the magical world of first looks, and I am going to discuss how to select a perfect location for this unforgettable moment. So let's dive right in. First of all, open shade is my go-to first choice when I'm selecting a location for a first look. When I position a couple in open shade, they are bathed in soft, even lighting. And this creates a beautiful, soft scene. When I say shade, I definitely specifically mean open shade. And open shade is when your subject is shielded from the direct sunlight, but still benefits from a secondary source of light nearby. When you position your couples in open shade, there will be even lighting across the scene. There won't be any hot spots over their bodies or over their faces. And when you ensure that they are facing the secondary source of light, which is super important, they will have even soft lighting on their faces. This consistency and evenness of light is crucial because having that consistent light allows me to be able to move around my couples and capture those spontaneous moments that happen without having to worry about adjusting my exposure for differences in lighting. This way I can allow the couple to interact naturally, do whatever comes naturally to them, and I am just there to capture the moment, and it's easy and it's a flattering scenario for them, which is so important when you have those quick reactions that happen during a first look. I have to admit, I love the look of backlighting where the sun creates a beautiful light halo effect around a couple. But for a first look, the technique of using backlighting I find doesn't work as well, because when you use backlighting, you have to position your couple precisely to ensure that the highlights and shadows fall in the proper location. Doing this could make the couple feel more constrained and less relaxed, which is definitely not what I want during a first look. So that's why when I'm searching for a location for a first look, I always prioritize finding open shade with a good neutral backdrop. Okay, now when I am scouting for a location, another thing I have to keep in mind is accessibility and privacy of the location. I really want the couple to feel comfortable and be able to have a moment to themselves without any distractions. So I look for a spot that is easy to access, yet it is secluded enough so you don't have tons of onlookers watching the first look, unless that is what they want. And speaking about accessibility, don't forget about the bride's footwear. I find this is a common problem. Often brides will choose these beautiful shoes like stiletto heels, which I love, but they're difficult to walk in. If your bride is wearing stiletto heels like that, it's best to avoid grassy terrain. And once the bride gets onto grassy terrain, her heels will sink into the grass and it's really awkward. So in that scenario, I would be looking for a nice paved walkway, and that would be a lot easier for the bride to walk along that type of ground. Sometimes the weather just doesn't cooperate on a wedding day, or if there is not a suitable outdoor location nearby, you may have to do your first look indoors. I always do like to have a plan B for the first look and photos just in case the weather is bad. And indoors can be just as magical as outdoors for a first look if you keep a few things in mind. One thing is that ideally you can find a room that is big enough for the bride and groom to move around. Also big enough for you as the photographer to stand back a little bit so you can get a nice wide shot of the couple without being too close. The next thing that I look for is large windows. That is critical. And ideally they should have soft diffuse lighting coming in. The lighting is really important. I would say the lighting is probably the first thing I look for. So if I'm forced to look inside for a first look location, I would be looking for big windows. Large windows can help create softer lighting, which will give your photos a more romantic and soft feel to them. Additionally, if possible, I like to find a room with light neutral colored walls. Light neutral colored walls will act as reflectors, and they will help bounce light back onto your couple, and that will also help eliminate any dark shadows. It will also contribute to that kind of light and airy look that I personally really like. So even if we're indoors, I can always create that soft and romantic look. Just have to know what I'm looking for in terms of the right space. So there you have it. There are my top tips for finding a great location for a first look for your couples. Remember, it's all about creating a meaningful and enjoyable experience for the couple you're working with. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more tips and inspiration, and I will see you next time. Bye.